Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is the second video of the day. Please hit the like button as well as the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Thanks. As well, leave a comment on your thoughts so far with the Sinister Labs, because I'm still on the fence with this. I see some real negative stuff and some aspects are positive, but I'm going to analyze that in this particular video. Now, I woke up this morning thinking to myself, right, I want to do a video on Sinister Labs. It was a bit late last night. I think it was close to about midnight when I got my third video of the day out. So I was thinking to myself, like, what am I going to record today? And I had one scheduled video and I wanted to make a video on Sinister Labs. Now, what are my thoughts on it? Well, first and foremost, I couldn't find it, and I was thinking to myself, right, event quests. Oh, it's not there. Right, okay. Is this special quests? Oh, look, yes, I found it. I even went to myself like, okay, so it's a sort of a daily one, so I'll go into the daily quests. No. Oh, look, the golden circle there, yes. Do make sure you do the golden circle as part of your trial period for the Summoner Sigil. But special quests is where you're going to find it. Right off the bat, I just want to get something out there, the time grind to do all difficulties. And as you can see, I've 100% explored everything in Sinister Labs. Everything is 100%. Now, I didn't have to do that, but I wanted to make it very obvious in this video the reasons for that, and also look at the time grind. Your time as well as my time is incredibly valuable, and it could be a case that you're doing stuff in life or stuff in game and you're like, I'd prefer to be grinding out that than I would be this event. So is it worth it on time? I really don't see it being as worth to people. Now, first and foremost, these are the raw files from my recording, because I did want to kind of put over the top some footage of grinding this out. Now, this first bit of footage, which is 31 minutes and 42 seconds long, is from my uncollected or epic grind. And when it comes to my master, hard, and medium grind, which is this here, it's 28 minutes, putting a grand total together of, well, it's literally like close to an hour's grind for doing all of the difficulties. Now, I didn't have to do all of the difficulties. I just felt that it would be quite nice to put that together for a video to get you those facts together. So an hour to do all content grind. The 31 minutes was just to do epic, and I was thinking to myself, right, that's pretty inadequate for my roster and stuff. But when I thought about it, the amount of time I had to spend re-rolling things because I didn't get a good enough buff, and 9 times out of 10 I wasn't actually picking up anything good, I kind of felt like, oh, this is just hassle that I just do not need. I decided to look around and see what other people were doing. KT1 puts out a great video, but I guess the same issues do present itself because there's bits where things are sped up. And even though the video itself is about 22 minutes long, and as well, yes, he is using 4 stars and rank 3 5 stars. The particular champions used are very good against this. Using Archangel was a really good idea. Using Quake, and obviously we know what Quake can do. I go up against things with regeneration and having positive buff effects, and having a champion like Void is a great option. So it is a case that, is this coming in line with an extensive time grind for this event? I think the answer is indeed yes. And something that I'll be covering in MCOC news tomorrow, but just to kind of like throw it out there as of now, it looks like we have seen a lot of negative response back to Kabam on this. So since the point of launch, which was obviously yesterday, it doesn't feel that it's had this kind of positive impact. Now, it is no negative zones. Negative zones are, say, the best thing that Kabam have put out this year as a side quest, and I just don't feel it has that positive backing from the player base. But maybe I'll find something. But the thing is, for me, and I think for a lot of players will be the same, when you re-roll these buffs and you kind of go, right, the randomizers in, you will then blast for a lot of randomizers because you will never get anything remotely good. And as I said, it's like 1 out of 10 times that you would re-roll that you actually get something positive in your favor. I've seen Starburst so many times. I've seen Thorns. I've seen so many things, slash tires. I've seen so many of those negative things. And I'm like, oh, this sucks. I don't want to go completely doom and gloom on this, like, oh, you shouldn't do it. But can you make it a little bit more easier? Well, Kabam do provide us with the option of doing objectives, which, as you can see, I'm going and working through now. This one I like the most, and that's gustatory. I don't know if I'm even saying that right. I'm sure somebody will correct me in the comments section about the way I pronounce things. But the fact is, these senses are very helpful. You can pick up 9 of each type, and there are indeed 5 to choose from, all from different senses. You've got eyes, and you've got ears, and you've got mouth and nose, head, shoulders, knees and toes. knees and toes. Man, that takes me back to primary school. Or if you're in America, elementary school. I thought I'd test around some theories about the way that Gustatory works, and in particular the idea of what really defines the debuff. And do bear in mind the way that Kabam do things nowadays is that they've got passive buffs, there's standard buffs, there's other types of buffs. There's also things like the way that debuff effects work, and also the way that direct damage works with some sort of effects. Yeah, everything gets very kind of convoluted, and it gets very hazy at times. I just feel that it's not great, one size fits all for these, because you kind of go, right, well that should interact with debuff effects. And if it's red and it looks like it could be a debuff effect, well, let's face it, it's not going to be a debuff effect. So I did learn the hard way with this for the point of recording for the video. I've already done 100%, so I was thinking, right, I'll just perform some tests and kind of see how these sense boosts work. So do bear in mind, if you are looking to use them, it is not one size fits all. Do make sure to understand the way that certain nodes, debuff effects, and buff effects work. Over time, I can imagine that the rewards are actually quite good when they're stacked up, but I think the process in order to get there isn't something that I'm overly interested in from a time grind perspective. As I've seen, as I've explained, and it's not just me, and I'm sure you've got the same kind of issues, the time grind to do this, especially if you're looking to do all 3 difficulties and then the 4th difficulty, which is going to take a little bit more time, isn't really valuable for people when they want to get a lot of other content done, number 1, and maybe number 2, that they want to focus on something else. The senses, although good, don't really provide me with any kind of massive gains, but still there is value to then think about, well, right, maybe I'll use one of these for one run. But the fact is, you could come against a randomizer and you're like, okay, well, I need to put on a second boost because the first boost that I had on from a previous one isn't going to be helpful. So therefore I've got to constantly re-roll, and you may be left with the, well, frustration that the enemy is going to be more powerful than you're going to go up against. It is very rare that you see any kind of vulnerabilities. And yes, I did have stun vulnerability come up from time to time, poison vulnerability, dash vulnerability, but it was very rare. When I think the first iteration of MCOC Labs, I saw it a lot more. Also, you've got to consider the fact if you want to save about 30 minutes a day, or maybe 20 minutes, whatever and how quickly it takes you to do Epic, you could just do a lot of the other difficulties. In particular, Master alone gives these type of rewards, which, look, let's face it, if you want to you want to time management well, this is actually pretty good. But obviously do bear in mind there will be a loss for you just doing that if you don't do Epic. But again, it's all about time management and time value in the game. If you want to take away that half an hour or even an hour from not doing this event, then you've got to take the rough with the smooth. I think for me personally, I'm probably going to absorb the time into other content grinding. We have to consider the fact that Variant 3 is going to be out very soon, and as well, everyone's going to be intensively grinding out the uncollected difficulty to try and get that done. Also, your Master and Heroic, whatever you're doing in game, those will be your priorities. And maybe this is a good idea and good time, whilst the contest is a little bit quieter, to grind out that stuff, and even Act 6 before we get Act 6.3 at a later date, which has gone into beta. So make sure you use your summer wisely. There we have it. That has been the video. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure to have your say in the comment section whether or not you will be grinding out this side quest, or maybe you'll be giving it a miss this month. Don't forget to tune into the live stream later on from 1900 hours GMT, and I look forward to seeing you there. Make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, all the lovely stuff as well, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye for now.